Hey, good morning to everybody. Daryl P here, aka Artist in Recovery, talking to you from my usual treadmill workout. And I decided to try something a little different. I've been really interested in how Belle of the ranch, Mrs. Belle, how she's been doing. And so I thought about doing some videos where I carefully watch one of her videos and then kind of respond to it with my own thoughts and see how that goes, see how you viewers like this. So today, it's her newest video, the precipice of Trump's recession. I'll put the link for it right down below in case you haven't watched it and if you want to watch it. And I basically agree with her. And she says she says that how the chief at Moody's, one of the biggest indicators one of the biggest economic indicators, is saying that we're on the precipice of recession. And she mentioned about the firing of the jobs chief, the jobs numbers, the chief, I can't remember the exact title, but you guys all know what I'm talking about, and how that kind of shook investors. And I agree with her. I think it takes away a lot of the confidence that anything that comes out of the Trump administration is kind of doctored or fixed. One of the biggest things that this reminded me of, how Trump and his whole administration are putting out their own version of reality, is a video that I watched just a little while ago on Facebook. I'll see if I can dig it back up for you guys, but I'm sure you can find it on your own. This is where this was yesterday. Trump was saying that we all love America, we love our country, and we're all going to be rich. You're going to be very, very rich. Okay? And while I'm watching this clip on Facebook, I see, I think I was watching NBC World News from New York City this morning. And so it's a pretty reliable news show. And they're talking about economist numbers and Trump's tariffs going into effect and how that's going to affect the average American family. And their numbers were, and these are, like I said, these are reliable economists, not like not from the left side or the right side. They're saying that Trump's tariffs are going to cost the average American family $2,400 a year, starting immediately this year. That's $200 a month. That's an extra $200 a month, all of us. And then I see people, Trump supporters, trying to poo-poo this whole tariff thing away. Well, it's just like taxes. It's just like paying. To hear a Republican to say, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's just like taxes." That's bullshit. Because the biggest thing that Republicans always whine about is taxes, and now they're saying, "Well, tariffs are just like taxes, and don't worry about it. It's just like a little extra tax." And I started thinking about this. A lot of this whole Trump supporter thing came up, I don't know, about 10 or 20 years ago. I remember when this first started coming out about the browning of America, about how Caucasian people are going to be the minority. And I saw how it affected the people that were slightly older than me. The boomer generation, the big Trump supporting generation, how it terrified them. It doesn't, this doesn't bother me at all. I have no worries about being a minority if that even happens. But I started thinking about this. Trump supporters' fear and their racism means more to them. Is their chief issue, underlying issue of all this, that they're willing to pay an extra $200 a month when they were just whining and complaining back when Biden was president about inflation. Oh my God, inflation! I'm working for nothing. I can't believe it costs so much. And now, they don't have a problem with an extra $200 every month. The average American family. Those are reliable numbers. It's insane. It really is. What troubles me more than that, though, is RFK Jr. and his stopping the research of the mRNA vaccines and stopping the $500 million going to the research. Of course, I have a very personal interest in this, having lost my soulmate to COVID. Almost exactly 4 years ago. I won't get into that whole thing again. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go back a video or two and you'll see I'm talking about Audrey. She was a Trump supporter and she refused to get vaccinated and she died from COVID. Another thing that really scares me is how they're trying to do the same thing. You know, Trump. I remember when he didn't want to call, he didn't want to count COVID case numbers, because if you didn't count them, then they didn't go up. You know, I remember hearing that, and it's like, did I hear that right? That sounds like insanity. So if you don't count the cases of COVID, then they don't go up. So if you ignore it, it just goes away. Are you freaking serious? That's what he was. You know, I still can't believe, you know, this was actually a policy, and now we see it again with him firing the job number people. You know, reality isn't reality. Reality is what Donald Trump says reality is. This is what scares me the most. And the whole climate change thing. Every year it gets hotter and hotter and hotter. And now Trump and his administration are destroying satellites that are researching climate change. Destroying the satellites that we're using to research higher sea levels and climate change. You know, I've said this before, and I hate to say it because it's such a pessimistic, it's not me, it's such a very pessimistic, gloomy way to look at things. But with this current administration, it almost makes me happy that I'm almost 60 years old, because that means I just have less life to live under this insanity. You know, when you start thinking about how you'd be better off dead, you know, you're not living a very good life. My life's good, except for this world of Trump that I'm stuck in. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the Belle Ranch and these new videos I'm going to do. Have a good Thursday.